It's time for a new episode of Sit Down with the Sup. In this episode, Superintendent John Boyd shares his reflections on the start of the school year and how he kept a personal tradition alive by riding a school bus on the first day of class. Also, 2 days of celebration, the ribbon-cutting ceremonies for brand new school buildings, plus the district's work to improve academic success, and your introduction to new Deputy Superintendent Dr. Charlene Williams.
Hello and welcome to Sit Down with the Sup. I'm Craig Birnbach. I work in the Communications Department here at Evergreen Public Schools, and I'm your host for Sit Down with the Sup, the show where Superintendent John Boyd shares information about the important issues and decisions that are affecting your schools and your students. Now, in this episode, the first of the 2022-23 school year, we're not just going to be hearing from Superintendent John Boyd. We'll also introduce you to EPS's new Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Charlene Williams, and our school board will share a message on Hispanic Heritage Month. But now it's time to welcome in Superintendent John Boyd. As always, thank you for joining us. And today's feature picture of the week, it comes from the ribbon cutting at Mountain View High School. Of course, we had the ribbon cuttings for Mountain View High School and Y East as we opened up these new schools. And I know you were smiling big on this day.
Man, that was fun with the band playing the fight song and everybody's excitement about opening this brand new 277,000 square foot state-of-the-art institution for our kids. Just a great moment. A
beautiful, beautiful school in Y East, one of the nicest middle schools, if not the nicest middle school I've ever been in. So exciting for the students and staff.
Y East is absolutely stunning as well.
All right, and we are going to start with the beginning of school, and we're about 10 days in as we sit here, and I know you've been to a lot of the schools, all the schools actually. What's the vibe and the feeling out there?
Yeah, I had the opportunity in the first 3 days to visit all 38 of our schools. Dr. Williams and I drove around and delivered flowers to the front office and a little gift for our principals and starting the school. And the tone is just really positive out there. You know, this year we had an opportunity we didn't have to deal as much with COVID protocols, really not at all. And we were able to focus on what we do best, teaching and learning. And I think that's lifted everybody up. Plus, people had the opportunity over the summer to rest and relax and actually go on vacations, jump on a plane and go somewhere. So I think everybody came back in a different state of mind, and it shows out there in the building. It's pretty exciting.
I know this was your first day as the superintendent at Evergreen Public Schools, but not your first day as a superintendent. And you have a little tradition that you kept going. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I've always ridden the bus on the first day. I go to the bus stop nearest my home. They pick me up and I ride in with the students, and it's just a fun way to get the year started for me.
All right, Superintendent Boyd told you about it. Now we're going to show you. That's right, Superintendent John Boyd was the tallest fifth grader on the bus to Hearthwood.
Would you like a wristband? Would you like a wristband, guys? We'll get you all one. I don't think I'm supposed to stand up though when the bus is driving. So when the bus stops, I'll come back and give you guys one too. We'll get another one.
What does yours say, buddy? Can I see it?
It says, "Don't wait for opportunities, create."
Can you read that? What does it say?
Believe in yourself.
You guys excited? Is it going to be a great year? I think it's going to be a great year. How's the first day been?
It's going very well. We're moving a couple minutes behind on every road, but we've been doing good.
Good. So you're going to be like a patrol? Nice. Do you get to wear the orange vest and a helmet too, or just the orange vest? You get to hold it. When I was a kid, I was a patrolman too. Here, guys, I want you to make sure. You got one? Did you guys get your wristbands? My name's Mr. Boyd. I'm the superintendent. Thank you for letting me ride your bus today. Happy first day. Can we get a fist bump? There you go. Fist bump. All right. Thank you for letting me ride your bus. Thank you for letting me ride your bus. You know, my wish for the students is to have just a great year of good learning. We reset around ambitious instruction, and that's my hope, is that we can get back to business of teaching our students and doing some really serious learning and academic achievement.
John, that was so much fun to watch. What was that experience like for you?
You know, it was great. You know, I got on the bus, I bought these little wristbands with some positive messages for the kids, passed them out. And just seeing the excitement and nervousness of the kids on that first day, watching the parents wave to them and the grandparents as they were putting them on the bus. And it was just a fun experience, and got a chance to talk to our bus drivers. You know, we have 275 bus drivers. They do a tremendous job for us. So being with our bus drivers, being with our kids, being able to do that on the first day, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know the bus driver had to remind you to sit down, right? You had to follow, had to follow the rules, of course. All right, and before we get into really talking about teaching and learning and the academic issues, you mentioned a little bit, we're still in the era of COVID, but is it fair to say that not much different from how we left last school year, coming into this school year with COVID protocols?
It is a little different in that the rules have eased and the governor's lifting the emergency order on October 31st. So there's a lot of hope that we can get into a more normal situation, and then our pandemic is moving to endemic. And so I think that's good news for us in the education business for sure.
Yeah, let's hope the environment for everyone continues to trend in the right direction, and we could just be talking about school and what we're doing in the classroom. And that's a little bit what I wanted to transition into now. You've talked a lot about aggressively improving our students' success, and I know that process has already begun during the summer, correct?
Yeah, it actually began in the spring, late spring, with our principals, a couple of days of learning with our principals focused on ambitious instruction, kind of resetting around teaching and learning. We've had to spend so much time with COVID protocols and dealing with that over the last couple of years that people have got a little bit off track, which is understandable. And we've had the opportunity 2 days with our principals in the spring, 2 more days in the fall. They're dialed in. Our teachers are ready. Everybody is leaning into the idea that our primary objective is to work on improving instruction for our students. So we have some ambitious goals, particularly around math, to improve outcomes for our students. And my initial observations are that have given me confidence that we're gonna make some gains in that area. And math is an area where our students are really struggling the most. So we've chosen that as our primary focus.
And one part of that is a new math curriculum, correct? What does that mean for a district our size?
Yeah, what it means is we've gone through a robust curriculum adoption process. So we get our math teachers and professionals and some leaders around the table, and they review different math curriculum, and they find the one that they think is best for us. So you have a lot of smart people working throughout a full year to determine the best curriculum. And so it's an opportunity for us to reset and regroup and organize ourselves around math. And so the nice thing about the math adoption that we have is it's the same math program that we have from kindergarten all the way through algebra. So there's some opportunity there too. So what it means is it's an opportunity for us to organize our learning around a new adoption. It comes with professional development. There are also some challenges with a new curriculum because teachers are learning something very new for the first time. So we've got to give high levels of support to them and make sure that we're staying true to the curriculum. If we can do all of those things, I think it will really help us to get to improve our math scores.
And you talk about the scores. You've been very direct, transparent about the fact that you think that our students can do better, and that those scores can rise up. Why are you so confident that that's going to be able to happen?
Well, first of all, it's just not me. I think it's been the feedback that I've gotten from everybody in the community, from our teachers through our board and everybody in between. We think we're underperforming particularly in math. But the way that we've organized, the way that we've got our principals leaning into it, and the way that we have a brand new curriculum, and it really does give me confidence that we can make some market improvements in our scores.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about a letter that families and staff recently received from our board president, Ginny Gronwald, and it talked about the process of landing on a permanent superintendent and how in October we're going to be reaching out to our entire school community to get their ideas and their input on what they expect from leadership in the role of a permanent superintendent. Now, of course, just to recap, you were hired back in December as the interim superintendent with an 18-month contract. So So this process, not a surprise to you at all. It's expected and something you support?
Yeah, I not only expected it, but supported it and encouraged that the school board go out and get some feedback from the community around what they want in their next superintendent. So I think it's a wise step for the board to take, and I'm 100% behind it. And they'll hear from the community. October 6th, I believe, is the date that they're going to do stakeholder feedback, and the board will then take a look at that feedback and then determine their next steps. And so I really have loved this job. I'm having a great time doing it. I feel like we've made done some good things so far. We got through a levy failure, passed a levy, got through a couple COVID spikes. We had some major budget reductions. We're getting ourselves organized around learning and leaning into a new strategic plan. So I feel good about what we've done so far, and we'll see how the community feels about that. And whatever the board decides, I will support 100%. And no matter what, I'll be in this and work my tail off until the end of my contract.
Excellent. Thanks for explaining some of that process.
Yes.
Another thing, a big initiative here that you're leading is the strategic plan. It's a process that's been going on, started last year. Could you just update people on where we are with the strategic plan and why it's so important from everything from the classroom all the way up to the boardroom?
Yeah, let me first start by saying a lot of times strategic plans become pretty posters on a wall that just sit there and look pretty. You go through a long process and you get some documentation that looks good on a wall. The approach that we're taking is very different than that. We're really trying to think about how the student experience and what we need to do from the classroom to the boardroom to organize ourselves to make sure that we're doing the best that we can to get outcomes for our students. So we've engaged in a strategic planning process last year, again in the middle of a couple of COVID spikes, levy failure, and some budget reductions. So we were able to get to the point where we have the plan, and now this year has taken that plan and trying to make it operational. So putting the meat on the bone, so to speak, so that we can then really focus and organize ourselves around what we envision for our students.
Yeah, and I know we're having community members, students, staff members, all a part of this process to talk to you and other leaders about what they need from the plan, right?
Yep. We'll be involving the whole community on all of the components to the plan. So it involves a mission and a vision, and what do we mean by that mission and vision? What do we mean in terms of what we want for our students? What's everybody's role within that? Our teachers, our principals, our board, our district leaders. What are the metrics we're going to use for determining success, and what are the strategies? So we'll be really getting crystal clear about all of those things. And I believe, and I've had experience with strategic plans that have really made a positive impact on the results for students. So that's what we're after.
And one of the staff members that you're going to be partnering with and leaning in with is our new Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Williams. She came on board in June. She's been here a little bit. Why are you so excited that she's on board?
Well, first of all, I didn't know Dr. Williams until she engaged in the process with Dr. Miner, who was in her position before, left to be superintendent in Edmonds, and she came in, was invited into that process, and she just owned the process. The community really responded favorably to her. She's a turnaround principal. She's a former math teacher. She has experience at the district level, and she's just a force. She's positive. She's a builder, and so far she's just made a tremendous impact on our teaching, learning, and equity team. So, I got a chance to spend 3 days with her in the car delivering flowers and gifts to our principals, and got to know her a little bit. And aside from her making fun of my driving, it was a pretty good experience.
All right, well, Superintendent Boyd told you why he's so excited to have Dr. Williams on board. We wanted to let you hear from her, and she could tell you a little bit about herself and why she's so excited to be the Deputy Superintendent here at Evergreen Public Schools. All right, Dr. Charlene Williams, our still relatively new Deputy Superintendent. Thank you so much for joining us on Sit Down with the Sup.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, I'm going to start with the question about your personal professional journey. I know that your last job was at Camas, the Camas School District, but you're not originally from the Pacific Northwest, right?
No, I'm originally from the South. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. I went to school in Raleigh, North Carolina State, Wake Forest University. I came out here in '98. I've served as a teacher. I've been a principal. I've worked in district office. And I love being with students and families and helping to make a difference in their lives. I think the work that I'm most proud of is just that the work where communities want to improve what they're doing for students. And so that's why I'm here today.
Now, you did most of your school down in the South, but you did finish up your last degree here, your doctorate.
Oh,
right?
I finished my doctorate, that's right, at Lewis and Clark College, and just had a wonderful experience, made very relevant to the work I was doing as an administrator in a school trying to do transformation work. Saw some great gains in graduation rate, reading outcomes, attendance, and more. So I'm really grateful for that experience and that opportunity. It shapes my lens as an educator today. You know, what can we do to continue to improve outcomes for our students?
All right. When someone comes to a new district, and the question is always like, so why'd you come here? Like when you saw the job and you applied, why did you decide this was going to be a good place for you?
First of all, I have two amazing children who are products of the Evergreen public school system. They attended Sifton Elementary, Frontier Middle School, Heritage High School, and just had a great experience. And I've had the privilege and pleasure of working with many of the colleagues here in this district. And when this opportunity came about, I heard from several people at different layers within the community and in the organization that this may be an opportunity that I'd be interested in. And they were absolutely right. It aligns with my passion, my goals, my desire, to help students be their best and to serve families the way we've been called to serve in education. Great leadership. John Boyd is phenomenal. His clarity around what we're supposed to do for student achievement aligns with just the work that we've been called to do in education. So it's a pleasure to serve him. It's a pleasure to work with so many amazing professionals in this district.
All right, so in education, we do love our titles, right? And your title here is Deputy Superintendent.
Yes.
When you're telling some people that maybe you've just met, or even family and friends, and they say, so what does a Deputy Superintendent do? How do you describe your job?
Oh, that's always so interesting. I have the pleasure of working with all of the schools and all of the leaders around improving education. And this year specifically, we are working on mathematics. What does it look like to provide high quality math instruction so that our students perform better in math? So that means our focus is on teaching, learning, equitable outcomes, and those practices. And when you think about the title Deputy Superintendent, it's teaching and learning, like I've said, but it's also whatever duties that need to be filled in service of the superintendent. So when he's not around, you got me, and I get to lean into those responsibilities to help the organization move forward. Really excited about doing that work.
And you do a lot of work with principals. I know that's something
absolutely.
When we first talked,
Yes.
you were very excited about being able to support principals. How does that look from your chair?
Well, for example, this morning we were on the line with over 150 educational leaders in this district, leaders from every school, where we actually design their learning, and we're helping them shape their school improvement plans so that they can focus on data that helps improve student achievement and outcomes. I have the privilege of being what's called a Supt supporter, a school improvement supporter, and I'm assigned to 3 schools, and I get to push into those schools and see what learning looks like and what supports those schools need. And then we come back and have conversations about what's working and how can we redesign our services to schools so that it helps them get better results with their students.
All right, and finally, I know we're only about 10 days into the school year, and you've only been here for a few months, but when you sit here now, what are you most excited about or looking forward to see, maybe a program coming together or just something in general? What are you excited about for this year?
I am really excited about working with our amazing team. we have some highly skilled, brilliant leaders who are passionate about students and have served students in so many ways. And we're able to mobilize the talent and those skills in such a way that we believe is going to help us elevate student achievement like we haven't seen. The pandemic hit us hard, and the outcomes that we have just are not reflective of the Evergreen School District that we know. And so now people are motivated. They see the alignment of our practices from the classroom to the boardroom, and we're excited about the results that's going to produce. I hope to be sitting down here a year from now celebrating the improvement in those outcomes.
Definitely something to look forward to. Dr. Williams, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed having the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Williams.
Yeah, her energy is infectious, and she's a force.
Yeah, always puts a smile on my face when I'm talking to Dr. Williams.
Me too.
Thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions here. But before we go, we want to recognize that September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. Our schools are going to be celebrating with events and lessons all month long, but we're going to leave you with a message of recognition from our school board of directors. And John, if you could do the honors in Spanish for us.
Por supuesto. Antes de terminar, queremos mencionar que el 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre observamos el mes de la herencia hispana. Nuestras escuelas estarán conmemorando con eventos y lecciones durante todo el mes. Ahora escucharán un mensaje de nuestra junta directiva. Gracias.
As part of our commitment to celebrating diversity and fostering an inclusive school community that allows all students, staff, and families to feel welcome and supported,
we as a district and as a school board are participating in Heritage Month celebrations throughout the school year.
September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. In our district, more than 25% of our student population identifies as Hispanic or Latino,
with family roots in Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, or Spain.
Whether they have been in the United States for generations or have recently immigrated to this country, we are so grateful for the many contributions our Hispanic families have made to our district, city, state, and country.
Throughout the month, our schools and students will be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month by reading books, watching films, and creating art
that will help them learn about the positive impact that Hispanic people and Hispanic cultures have had on our world.
as this year's Hispanic Heritage Month theme says,
Unidos, inclusivity for a stronger nation.